Welcome to this webinar. We're going to be discussing how to run AGMs under the new temporary legislation. My name is Andy Ty and I've been involved in election matters for most of my career, helping organisations transition to digital elections. A little bit of background to start then. The fundamental problem is that existing governance of companies and similar organisations does not provide enough flexibility to cope with the effects of the pandemic. This situation leads to risks and possible legal challenges, hence the introduction of the new temporary legislation. The new legislation contained within Schedule 14 of the Corporate and Insolvency Act covers the various elements of general meetings as listed on this slide. Importantly, the legislation only relates to organisations falling within the definitions of what is termed as a qualifying body. Here's a list of the qualifying bodies and the acts that they relate to. The relevant period is defined as meetings held between the 26th of March this year to the 30th of September. But please note, however, all four nations within the UK can separately extend the provisions up until the 5th of April next year in 2021. So what types of meetings are covered under the legislation? They're listed here. So a general meeting of a qualifying body, a meeting of any class of members of a qualifying body, or a meeting of delegates appointed by members of a qualifying body. So this covers AGMs, general meetings, EGMs, special general meetings, etc. Quite interestingly, any meeting covered by the legislation does not need to be held at any particular physical place. This is great news for running your AGMs or other meetings online and virtually. The legislation also allows the meetings to be held by electronic means, and any votes can be cast by electronic or any other means, which is great flexibility for everybody concerned. The participation aspect of the legislation allows meetings to be held without any number of those participating in the meeting to be together in the same place. That's great news. So things can be done hybrid, part meeting, part online, or online. This gives, again, further flexibility on how these meetings can be undertaken. There are some restrictions in the legislation. So, for example, here's a clause that we've extracted. Any member of the qualifying body does not have the right to attend the meeting in person, to participate in the meeting other than by voting, or to vote by a particular means, meaning that they can't demand to physically show up, or they can't demand to have a postal ballot or any other ballot type that may be in your constitution. There is lots of flexibility here, and it means that it's very specific that people cannot challenge on the basis of these particular restrictions. The stated purpose for the temporary legislation is to cope with the unprecedented times brought about by the pandemic, with the government's primary concern, of course, for the safety and well-being of all concerned. It's also to assist companies and other qualifying bodies to comply with their statutory and constitutional obligations, of course, while at the same time having due regard for the safety of members, shareholders, directors and employees. As a result, proper notice of the meeting must still be sent, although the mode of the meeting can be changed. Additionally, it's important the organisations engage with the members and explain the changes while complying with existing and new obligations. So, in summary, the temporary changes supersede the provisions of existing articles or constitutions, giving great flexibility there. There is no requirement here to hold the meetings physically. So meetings and voting can be undertaken 100% in digital methods in real time. Also, and really importantly, the quorum that you would need to run the meeting can be counted if those people are attending remotely, which is great news. And also, it enables organisations to meet their governance obligations. So all in all, I think they've done a great job there in giving lots of flexibility on how these meetings can be run moving forward. Many thanks for watching this update and this webinar. I hope it's of some use to you. Our contact details are below, and we'd love to talk to you if you have any questions or any comments. Thank you very much.